Lights, cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlighten, empower, evolve. Enlighten, empower, evolve.
Just in time. Greetings, I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I know everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited yet again, and you know why, because I have another amazing guest, and I never get tired of having amazing guests on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. My next guest is a life path and health coach that specializes in helping physical trauma individuals figure out a way to reach their goals in life. And there's a whole lot more. But without further ado, Ymonette Cabrera. How are you doing today, Ymonette?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the applause.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cold here in Oregon, so I'm trying to bundle up.
Oh, okay. Oregon. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. And I just want to say before we get started that I'm a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to decide to spend some of your time here with me on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, I just have to send out my sincerest gratitude. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So let's just get right into it. So you're in Oregon now, but I heard that you used to live in the Philippines at one point.
Yes, I was actually born there and then
Oh, okay.
migrated to Southern California when I was 10 years old.
Oh, wow. Do you
Hmm.
remember any experiences in the Philippines? And what part of the Philippines, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. In Mindanao,
Okay,
in
Mindanao.
Osamis. So shout out to Osamis people.
Yes. And what is that, a province or something like that?
I guess I don't know. It's a city.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just asking because I have some Filipino friends and I've heard them use that word province, and I'm just trying to figure that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, where my family lives, I guess you could say that would be a province because it's smaller than a city.
okay.
So yeah, province, town. It's
Oh, okay.
smaller than
Okay.
a city. Yeah.
Yes. So do you remember any specific experiences you had there or
Yes. So during my favorite part was when we had like completely freedom,
right?
right? And when there is the mango season and when it's really windy,
Right.
it's like my brother and I were allowed to go out at like 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. So the earlier you go, and you hit all the mango trees, and the mangoes would just fall off because of the wind, and we would collect them and stuff like that, and share them in the family when we come back. But just having those independent, it's really something. Like
Wow. And
it.
yes, I love mangoes, by the way, and they don't grow everywhere other than
No, only tropics.
tropical places. Yeah. And yeah, that's amazing. An amazing experience. Let's fast forward. So you moved to Southern California,
Hmm.
and that's awesome. But I want to get right into this because this is standing out to me. What
Okay.
inspired you to go down this path of being a life path and health coach? Give us a little bit of backstory on that, on how
Okay.
that came about.
Well, it really happened in Southern California.
Okay.
I I got my car accident when I was a junior of my high school year,
Okay.
and I won't really go in details that much, but I had a spinal cord injury due to that accident. And, um, I went through all the struggles mentally, physically, and even after the hospital, I it wasn't easy to accept what just happened to me. So
Right.
the question why always comes up. Why me? Why is this happening? I mean, like, what am I gonna do now?
Absolutely.
So I wish I had somebody that have gone through it and just let me know that, or show me that it will be okay, and the person, and I can still be resilient and have a job like a normal person do,
Right.
and be able to have control again in my life.
Right. Right. Yes, that's amazing. And then
Yeah.
so leading up to you choosing to be a coach that helps people, uh, especially trauma, I can see where you specialize in physical trauma individuals because you went through some physical trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yes, what led up to the coaching? Just that accident
It
there?
wasn't really until I've always liked psychology. So I
Right.
always wanted to know how people would actually think. So I actually taking class on psychology through my criminology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And overall, I really want, before I knew about life coaching,
Right.
I wanted to go into psychoanalysis and talk to serial killers and stuff like that.
Wow.
So that, yeah, and I did went back to school for it, um, but then I realized that it's gonna put me in debt, like 38,000 per year in debt,
Wow.
and I would not be, wouldn't be able to see really a client until I became like a doctor.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So this is why I'm going through this route, because I could have my certification in 6 months, start talking to clients who have actually been through it, and start
Right.
helping people.
Right.
Because
And
as long as we have cars, there's
right.
always going to be physical trauma from car accident, and it doesn't even have to be a car accident. It could just be um, other things like a work related accident too, or
Right. Right.
military soldiers.
Right. But you're right about the cars, not to project that out, but I understand
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you mean. There's lots of automobiles on the roads, and whether it's it doesn't matter whose fault it is, there's going to be accidents. And it's great that the person you were looking for or needed at the time when you went through that, you are that person. And I don't want to have this misinterpreted, but I think you had to go through that for that very reason, so that you can be somebody that someone else can reach out to that has, been through that. And I'm sure you had to go through extensive rehabilitation and just not looking so promising at first. And like you said, your resilience and your will and your mindset got you through that. And along with, not to take any credit from the amazing doctors that must have been in your corner as well, and
Mm-hmm.
family. And you know but it's really up to us. You know what I found in healing, especially, a lot a lot of that has to do, most of it has to do with us, the way we, where our mind is to be able to heal our bodies and all that. If you have a support system, if you know and things like that, you know then you have a better chance at recovering
Yes,
sooner than later. So
and not just physically recovery. I meant like mentally, like you're still
absolutely,
intact. Yeah.
absolutely, because I can imagine that you went through emotional and mental trauma as well, experiencing something like that, especially something that's,
They come go together. Yeah.
yeah, especially something that's debilitating, that it has something to do with your back, your spine, your nerves.
Yeah.
That can be
And
quite scary.
yes, and I was like very athletic. Like I played sports when I was in high school, swimming, camping, hiking. So to lose that part of my ability was wasn't easy. And that's like
Yes, yes. Oh,
it
and
just makes
it
me
has
feel
it.
emotional even just thinking about it,
Is
just
it?
because I
It's
miss
still
it.
it's still affecting you now to that point.
Um, there are ways that I do it
Right,
now. Like, right, I could the beach always help. I've always
right,
lived nearby to the beach, so the water helps me. So by knowing what kind of mechanism, like healing mechanism that works for me, and then that's what I go to when I feel triggered.
right, right. So, what is something that you would say to a person, some advice that you would give to a person that has been through something like that, that maybe come to you, what would be not to give away, your whole technique or anything like that,
Yeah,
but
no, no.
I'm just wondering what, how would you start if someone's coming that have been through that, coming to you seeking help or answers? I mean, how do you start that? I mean,
First, I would try to feel where they at, because
right,
I'm not gonna give them advice when they just feel like it just happened, right? They
right,
have to feel those emotions for them to
right,
actually heal. Because if you just push those emotions aside, then it's gonna resurface, and it's gonna do like relationship damage,
right.
self
In
sabotage.
other areas of their life. Yes, yes, I
Yes.
get it. Yes,
So,
excuse
but
me. Sorry about that.
however, if they are like ready and looking to find help, and they've tried on their own, but for some reason they just can't get out of their mindset, then I would really dig deep down in their personality,
Right,
and how they grow up, because the resilience of a person is in those when they were little, and what they've and who they were caretaker and how they were taken care of.
right. How they developed, yeah. And
Exactly.
the influences that what they had that was on them, and yes, what influenced their thinking and the traumas and all that. So you
Hmm.
go back and dig that deep, even in regard to a current accident. Wow, that's amazing. No, no,
Yeah,
I'm not criticizing. I'm saying that's wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
It's
No,
just it depends on the person, right? It really is. And some of them may not feel like they've accomplished so much, but surviving a
right,
car accident and asking for help, that is a major accomplishment.
right,
Because not only that they're asking for that help, they are deciding a trajectory of their life. They could stay stuck. They could go in a different path. They could be an addict. They
right.
could find any excuse to just, have that victim mentality. But by
Wow.
asking,
I'm glad you said that. Yes, because oftentimes when things happen to us, from my perspective, we can fall into that. It is easy to fall into that victim mentality and to keep replaying those things over and over in your mind and talking about it over and over. Now, of course, to in my perspective, you have to about it to an extent
mhm,
to eradicate, to vent, to help heal you. But when you take that victim mentality, it can do more harm than hurt in the long run. And
right.
it'll make it harder for you to get past it and heal. But
Hmm.
something like that that's very traumatic, I can imagine that even, you know, affecting your sleep, visions and your dreams, all that,
Hmm.
especially when it's something that's as traumatic as that. So yes,
Yes. I
that's
mean, I had nightmares a few months after my car
right,
accident.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
that's not something. Oh, go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
oh no, it's okay. but it wasn't about the car crash. It was just some things that wasn't pleasant,
Right.
but nonetheless, like the way I actually got out of that is that I started journaling. So it was like my
Oh, wow.
subconscious was telling me something that I wasn't able to express while I was awake.
And that's amazing because I was going to ask you some other things that you do personally to help you get through traumas like that. And you just answered journaling,
Mm-hmm.
walking on the beach, which is I can really resonate with that. I can resonate with journaling as well. I just journal in different ways. I write a lot of gratitude and goals in the present tense as if I've already accomplished them, and then
Oh wow.
express gratitude for them. So that is amazing. So journaling, walking on the beach, is there any other
Yes.
techniques
So
or things that you do that you
anything
can?
that I accomplish helps me with my mindset, with my self-esteem.
Right. Of course. Yes.
Yes. So I focus on my future and not the future that I saw as a kid. Because originally I wanted to be like in the Air Force, right?
Right.
And and after my car accident, I found out that I can still be a pilot. May not be for like the Air Force and fly off like, F-118 or something like that, but I can still. So that's one of my bucket lists. So I
Right.
created a bucket list that
Wow.
the more I, create the check mark, then I feel better about myself. And being disabled, being in the wheelchair, it doesn't matter as much, especially if I could accomplish it without the use of my legs.
Wow. And you said something else that's very powerful, which is writing down things. Period. Is there's a
Mm-hmm.
power, and I can't, I'm not an expert in explaining, even though I've read different analogies and different perspectives on how and why it's so powerful. I'm not good at repeating that, but I just know it is. I know that writing down and tangibly seeing that and physically doing that, there's a power that helps you. So
Yes.
yes. And what I want to commend you on is just being, in my perspective, from even the little interaction that I've had with you, but being so optimistic and a survivor, and one that's not indulged in a victim mentality, but knowing that you still have that mentality that you can still do whatever you want to do. And I honestly know that to be true, that anything that we set our mind to do, it might be harder now because you have a few more obstacles in the way, but you still
Right.
can. I've seen people drive that have no arms,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they want to do, and be an Uber driver like that because that's what they wanted to do. And the thing is too, is I do know this, and I'm speaking to those that are listening and or watching. When something does happen, don't wait for something drastic to happen to you before you appreciate the
Mm.
abilities that you once had, or appreciate life, because life is so precious and we never know. Not saying to live life scared or in fear
Yeah.
of things happening, but just know that, you know, just appreciate life. Don't wait. Like there was an analogy that I also used, and it really is kind of connected to this, but no matter what happened, basically in your life, what coulda, shoulda, woulda, it still becomes the tough love part of it is it's still up to us to
Yes.
heal and fix our own self, no matter what happened and whose fault it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the analogy that I use was, and it just happens to be a car one too. If you're driving in the car, and I hope this doesn't trigger
No, no.
anything
I'm a
to
driver,
you.
so yeah, no.
Okay. Yes, I have to make sure I'm sensitive as well because I don't want to trigger any traumatic triggers. But if you're in a car, right, and somebody smashes into you, right, and then drives away and gets away, they have no license plate, they drove away.
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible for fixing your car?
You.
You are. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same with your life. People can do things to us that causes trauma, but
Yeah.
it's they're not going to fix you.
No.
You have to. So what I'm saying is focusing on what happened, and I'm just tying it into you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you had to go through those emotions, but continuously focusing on and looking down on what happened is not going to heal. And what I'm
Mm-mm.
seeing from you is that you're moving forward and using those experiences, that trauma, as fuel to propel you in another direction that you might not have even thought about going in prior to the
Yeah,
accident.
pretty much. Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't this, if I didn't get into my accident and resulted to a spinal cord injury, I don't think I would be a life coach,
Right,
especially for car accident survivors.
right,
But it feels like from now that I'm older and a bit wiser, I can see the pieces more, like all got put together like a puzzle.
right.
And my puzzle isn't quite complete yet, but I do see
No,
them.
right,
And it feels like it's a calling. Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing now, or have been since I was probably before I was conceived.
right. You
So
just had to go through like you said, you just had to put the puzzle pieces together, and sometimes it takes a lifetime. And I'm
yeah.
speaking from experience
Mm-hmm.
because not to take away any significance from you or take the light off you because this is about you, but just to let you know, I resonate exactly what you're saying because it took me until, now to realize that this is, I've always liked to talk and I've always had people say negative things about me talking so much and positive things, but I always I'm a people person. And
Mm-hmm.
what better way than to have, a podcast or be on social media talking, engaging in dialogues with amazing people that have been through amazing experiences as well as traumatic experiences and see how they're coming out of those experiences and helping not only themselves but other people. That's a common narrative that I attract to the show. I feel I attract that to the show because it never gets old, and I believe that's very important because when we help people through our own experiences, it makes it to me more passionate and more authentic than
More
just
meaningful.
it. Yes, more meaningful, and that is something that's very close to you, something that you know reminded of every day of your existence. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be passionate and without a doubt, I know that about what you're doing, and you're going to be show empathy and compassion to people because you know the challenges that they're facing.
Mm-hmm.
You know the
And I
emotions
also know their capability as well,
as
because
well.
that's where I am at the moment.
Yeah,
So I
you're
could see
holding.
it even though they can't see it for themselves.
Yes, and you're holding yourself to higher and higher standards. Just like you said something else that's very highlight worthy, and that's the puzzle isn't complete yet.
Mm-hmm.
You had your life didn't stop the day you had that car accident. And sometimes I have witnessed where certain events have occurred in people's lives, and that's where their life sort of stopped. And you can see it
Right.
in their eyes that they're just existing. because of whatever happened in this relationship or this accident or this medical diagnosis. Their life has just completely stopped. And
Mm-hmm.
as long, in my perspective, as long as you're still living, you have a purpose. I don't know what it is.
Amen.
Maybe
Yep.
your purpose can shift due to what's happening with you. But
Mm-hmm.
to me, not saying that I wish trauma, accidents, diseases on anyone, but to me, the things that we go through are meant to propel us into something greater than what we thought before.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Before
understand what I'm
before I
saying.
was just thinking about myself, my career,
Right,
right? Make money, the basic to be able to survive on your own.
right,
But now it's about them. It's not about me.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. Well, I'd have to beg to differ just a little bit. It is still about you, but through you, you can help other people. Because if your
Yeah,
cup is not full, you have nothing to give. And I
that's
can
true.
see you filling up your cup, you know, with
I've
if
been blessed.
yes, yes. And that's amazing. So don't ever, and I'm not trying to lecture you. I just want to inspire you. Don't ever downplay or, the fact that it has to be about you first and then about helping other people because you have to gain that strength, that wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
that resilience before you can pour that into someone else. Almost like the analogy that I'm pretty sure you've heard before. Even if you have a baby, right, and you're on a plane and it runs out of oxygen, you got to put the oxygen mask on you first, because
Right,
otherwise, you put it on that baby and you pass out. What is that baby going to do? Nothing.
right.
The mask will fall off the baby, and there's nobody there to help it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to take care of you first. So, yeah. So I'm here to assure you that no, I think it's about you, and through you, it's about them.
Yeah, yeah.
Through your amazing, resilience and your amazing strength that you clearly have, and your amazing passion that you clearly have developed as well. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you had the same passion before the accident or not. I can't speak. I can only speak for what I'm feeling now. And yes, just continue. I just want to just encourage you to continue doing what you're doing and elevating
Thank you.
and elevating yourself, because your life is a significant one. No matter what, I think we all have a significant life, and we just have to tap into that those gifts and those purposes. And when you find that
Mm-hmm.
purpose and really deep dive into it, I think that's when you can have sustained happiness and peace and balance no matter what's going on. And not saying that there won't be any hard days, because we're human.
Oh no.
We'll
Yeah,
go through
that's
emotions.
impossible. You gotta
Right.
have yeah, hard days is with good days. So
Right. Because if it wasn't for the hard days, how would you really know what a good day is? And how would you know
exactly.
how to appreciate it? Just like when I mentioned to you earlier, when I was saying to people, you go through something very traumatic. It's going to help you appreciate, even the simplest things that you probably didn't appreciate before.
Yeah.
you know, you know, like walking is one of them. People take that for
Mm-hmm.
granted, and that's why I'm thankful, every day for just even things like that. I'm able to get up and walk, move my arms, move my fingers. I'm able to breathe
Mm-hmm.
on my own. I'm able to talk. I'm able to hear. I'm able to see. And I'm thankful for all that, because it's you don't have to think about it. It becomes something that you just wor- you can easily just take for granted until something
Yes.
happens that highlights that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, whoa, yes. So that's amazing. So while we're here, how would people reach out to you if they wanted to talk to you or to seek, possibly your services or your insight? How do you have a website, social media? Could you share that with us while we're here
Of course.
live?
So I have a website for my coaching,
Right.
and it's called bodymindharmony.work.
.org.
Work, like you're
Dot
working.
work. Oh, dot
Yes.
work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, say that again, please.
Bodymindharmony.work.
Dot work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's your
And
website.
you could just find me in on on Facebook, which just type out my name and I'll be there.
Why Monet?
Yep.
Why
Ymonette.
Ymonette? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I said it. I introduced you right, though. At least I got that part right.
It's okay.
Ymonette
You and my other teachers in the past.
Cabrera. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for throwing me in the pile with the other teachers. I do consider myself a teacher and a student at the same time. Yes, that's amazing. And yeah, so yeah, your website. And be sure, if you haven't, to send me that link to your website so that I can incorporate it in the description of this
Okay.
segment here. So that way when people go to the description, they can just click right on it and get right to your website. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. So before we conclude this segment, are there anything you want to leave us with or anything you'd like to share? You got anything coming
Yeah,
up?
a quote actually.
Okay,
And yeah,
let's hear it.
my daughter found this one, and it's over here in Oregon. We have artists that just hide their work, and for people to find and for them to keep. And
Right.
my daughter found this rock, and it
Wow.
says, the distance, yeah, the distance between dreams and reality is action.
Mm, I feel that.
So yeah.
Your mind is powerful to me, and dreams are powerful, but you must take action. You do,
Mm-hmm.
and that's amazing. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you,
I'll
Eamon.
have to thank my daughter because she's the one that found that.
Yes, thank her. Give her a shout out to your daughter. So thank you, Ymonette. And yes, it was a pleasure having you and sharing some of your experience and giving us some insight. I love listening to people's different people's perspectives and insights and just especially stories and about stories and testimonies in regard to survival and overcoming.
Mm,
That right there is just inspires me so much because we all have battles, some, and it's all
mhm,
perspective, some worse than others, either physically or mentally, whatever. But we all have something that we're going through or been through. That's just to me, that's just life. And it's nice to know that, there are people, extraordinary people such as yourself that have decided to not take the avenue of being or staying in a negative place, but like I said, using it as fuel to propel you and to help others, to open the doors for other people that,
yeah.
yes, that might experience something similar. And I think that's very noble of you and amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. And I want to thank everyone for watching and or listening. This is going out to a lot of platforms, all the audio platforms, and as well as YouTube. And just thank you so much. I just appreciate everyone, listening to this podcast and just helping me build it and becoming fans, fellow teachers, students, followers, leaders. I don't really like to use the word followers because I think we all our followers and leaders simultaneously, which means we can follow something, but then when we learn something, we become anointed, we become the teacher, and then other people are following us. So I think, you know, I don't pride myself as being a person people should follow, but I pride myself on just feeling like I do have some value to add through my own experiences and through interviewing and speaking with extraordinary people such as Ymonette, and it's just amazing. So I just want to express my sincerest gratitude to everyone that's listening and watching as well. Appreciate you. Enlighten, Empowered, Evolve. Be sure to check out my website as well, 333empower.com. And if you think or feel or know that you will be an amazing guest, you can leave a message. There's a place to leave a message on that website as well. Or you can just simply send an email to 333empower@gmail.com. Be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification bell. Questions, leave comments, spread this, share this, help the platform grow, help assist myself as well as Monette, get our message out there. I know it is and will inspire a multitude of people. And just thank you, everyone. Appreciate you. See you soon. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.